Hello and welcome to this week's Rocksmith Developer Stream. I'm your host and community developer, Doug Lilly. Today we have 3 songs from the new Trivium Song Pack 2, all 3 songs from their 2005 album, Ascendancy. We're going to take a look at that. We'll come back, we'll play through some of those songs, give away some prizes, and talk about it. It'll be a good time. See you soon. And there you have it, 3 pretty technically intense songs from Trivium. And to play the first of those, allow me to introduce you to our first guest today, Brian Shu.
Hello.
Hello, and
That's
welcome.
me.
That's you. That's you. Brian Shu, you are a note tracker here at
Supreme.
Ubisoft. Note tracker Supreme.
Yep.
Is that what it says on the menu? Is it abbreviated? That's a Taco Bell joke. It's not very good.
Oh.
And then to your left, Kaiwan. Welcome back. It's been a little while.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi. So yeah, a little bit about what we're about to play. So we're going to play Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr, which is a mouthful to say. It's a long title. That's all I'm saying.
This album has a lot of really long song names.
Yeah. A lot of, I think they spent a lot of time working out the song titles. But we were just talking about this album because I think this was definitely the first album of Trivium's that I heard.
Me too.
Back in the day, and it was their first one on Roadrunner.
Yes.
Which is why, and it was during my college radio days. So I have some personal fondness for this particular era. And then I knew, or I assumed, Kai, when you were a fan.
Yes.
Based on some discussions we had had.
Yes.
So full disclosure, I thought, well, I had asked Kaiwan about playing this song a while back, and then I forgot to remind her. I thought she was on an email list that she was not, So she has pretty much had today to practice it, and about half that time she was playing inverted. Because that's the way you're used to playing. So the bass part for this is going to be dropped a little bit. It's going to be we're looking at about 60% for most of the song. The bridge itself is going to be what do we say 40%? So it's a tricky bridge.
Yeah,
It's a tricky bridge on that bass part. I've played it a few times and it is a marathon with a lot of jumps and skips. So it's a lot of fun. But that's what we'll see here today, and that's all my fault. Brian Shu, you note tracked this one?
I did.
Cool.
I guess what you can expect from this kind of music, like Trivium in general, is a lot of like bouncing between open strings and a lot of big shifts. I think just this kind of metal tends to have, or actually just metal in general tends to have that, a lot of that. And I guess we got a video.
Yeah.
Up soon
So we reached out.
more.
We reached out to Matt Heavey, who we've had conversations with in the past, and he sent us a few videos offering some tips, some suggestions on how to play the songs that you'll be seeing today on the stream. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. This one is for Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr.
What's up, friends? This is Matt from Trivium, here to give you some advice on how to play some of our songs that you can now jam out on Rocksmith. Pull Harder. Pull Harder, that main riff is about alternate picking, true alternate picking. It's all alternate, down, up, while keeping that down pedal tone. Think of it almost like it's a pedal tone kind of riff. So that's pretty simple. Pre-chorus, there's a very subtle hint in there that I feel like a lot of guitar players miss. It's da 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 da. So that first da 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 da, it has two opens. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Da 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 da. And then when it comes back da 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 da, same every time. The riff in the chorus is a nightmare to play. With singing, I just go just slide down, but it's actually da 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 da. It's down pick, hammer on, and hammer off. Da 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 da. It's tough. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Matt, for sending that to us. Matt's been really good to us and to his fans. He knows how to sort of talk to fans.
He sent this guitar.
Yeah, he sent us this guitar. So what are you playing here?
It's a Epiphone Les Paul. It's a I guess it's his personal model, like signature model.
It is the I have it pulled up here because it is also has a long name. It is the Epiphone limited edition Matt Heafy Snowfall Les Paul custom electric guitar outfit in Alpine White.
Yeah, and then it has your kind of standard EMGs, I think an 81 and an 85. I forget which one goes where. I think it comes with a kill switch.
Yes. Yeah.
So usually the cool thing about Les Pauls is like you have two volume knobs, right? So what a lot of guys like doing is they like turning off like one of the volumes all the way down to 0, so you can get the kill switch thing with your pickup selector.
Yeah.
But if you want to, since a lot of these guys also use the neck pickup for soloing and shredding and stuff, I think the kill switch is probably the way to go.
So you can have volume on both pickups, and not have to rely on just cutting.
Yeah, this is a really interesting fretboard too. I don't know what this stuff is, but it's pretty interesting. I don't think it's wood.
Oh, the actual
material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
But yeah, also talking about the song. So I'm playing the lead arrangement, and this particular lead arrangement is, you'll notice that I didn't split Matt and Corey's parts. This is kind of a compilation lead part.
Okay.
There is a lot of guitar stuff, including harmonies, which are featured in the alt arrangement. If I were to try to represent every single guitar part like authentically, then I actually did not have enough.
We would have had like 6.
Yeah.
tracks.
So we just decided to make the rhythm part just like kind of a true rhythm guitar part, and this is like a true lead part where you're actually playing both solos back to back, playing some of the higher harmonies. There's a lot of jumps and stuff, so it's pretty brutal. It's very hard, but you know, if you can do this pretty well, then Good
job.
for you.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at Pull Harder. In the meantime, if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to UB Jurassic in the chat. That is Brian, our community manager.
man. Shit.
So I think that's the first time I've seen the hatch break out in applause. Like, well done, both of you.
Oh,
thank
thank
you very much for coming by. Wow. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now.
I mean, any questions about the actual
we-
like techniques or anything like that?
Okay. Can we ask Shu to spin it around and chat a bit about why the cutaway heel is desirable?
The cutaway heel.
That was from
oh,
My
right here.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't mention that, but like you can see that there's a little slice here that makes it so that once you get higher, because Matt plays a lot of leads, and the one thing about Gibson Les Pauls is that it can be a little blocky here, like having this little cutaway makes it so that you can kind of get your palm a little flatter to the thing and kind of get around the fretboard a little easier. So it just makes like the upper axis a little better, especially for your thumb, because then I can kind of roll my thumb off this little slope here.
Can we grab? Can we grab one of the Les Pauls on the wall so that we can kind of compare?
Oh yeah. Why don't we grab that Epiphone right there? Thanks, Gerg.
Thank you. I'll hold that for
Okay.
you.
Yeah. And I don't know if we have like a close-up cam, but
I don't know if it's operational at the moment.
you can see it. Well, usually Les Pauls aren't bolt-ons, but this kind of gets the same point across, where this is kind of bulky right here, and it makes grabbing the others, like the high frets, a little bit difficult.
So you've got to.
Yeah, and like you can see my thumb, like what it has to do here. It's like kind of resting between the neck and the body itself. I don't know if you can see that, but what this nice cutaway does is it allows me to actually get my thumb like really far under the body and the neck, so that I can really get up there on the top few frets there.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's really comfortable.
Yeah. Kaiwen, how do you feel? You made it through.
Feel good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And
Sounded
do
good.
you have a history with Trivium at all?
I listened to a lot of their stuff.
okay.
Yeah, kind of around the same time you mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a big. They were a big deal. I mean, they still are. But when they came on the scene, at that moment, it was a.
It was kind of nice around that time frame. I think that was like mid 2000s, right? 2005
Yeah.
to 2010, where all of a sudden you had all these like hard rock, metal guitar based, like really guitar heavy bands coming out again. You had like Avenged Sevenfold, you had Killswitch Engage was doing some solos. Trivium was definitely one of the more shreddy solos. I was like a big like 80s guitar fan back then. Like I loved Ozzy Osbourne and like Paul Gilbert and stuff. So when I heard this more modern like music and seeing like, you know, music videos on TV and stuff, I was like, whoa, there's guys that can play and they're like on TV, and it was like super dope. I mean, who else was out at that time? Like, I guess those are the kind of the few that I kind of lashed on to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
But,
All right.
good
Well,
stuff.
thanks again, both of you, very much for coming by. Right now, we're going to do our first giveaway of the stream. This is the first of 2 Ernie Ball prize packs that we're going to give away today. So if you are in the chat, please listen to what Brian Turner, that is UB Jurassic, tells you. He will give you instructions on how you can enter for a chance to win one of these Ernie Ball prize packs. If you win, you're going to get 2 sets of strings, 1 6-string set, 1 4-string set for your bass. You're going to get a dozen of the Ernie Ball picks. I believe right now we have a heavy or medium heavy gauge that we're giving away. You're going to get 3 of the Spectrum Plectrum picks from Rocksmith, from us. You're going to get a black Ernie Ball strap, a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, and an Ernie Ball peg winder. So please pay attention in the chat to find out how you can enter and win one of those. You do have to be following our page, our channel here on Twitch, to have a chance to win. If you win, if you are lucky and Moobot chooses you, please look for a whisper from Brian Turner from UB Jurassic. He will ask for your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We do need all of that information in order to ship you your prize. So please look for that, and don't forget your area code. Don't forget your zip code, because sometimes we have to go back and ask and it can delay the whole process. So for your own sake, make sure he has all that information. And if you're able to split that up and split up your address line by line so that I can format it correctly, that helps me get you your prizes sooner. So please look for that from Brian if you win, and good luck to all of the viewers out there. We are just moments away from seeing our second guest. So you may have an idea of who our next guest is going to be if that person was seen handing off a guitar to Brian Chu in our last segment. But here he is. Let's not delay the surprise any further. Welcome, Greg Studley.
It's Say Young.
It's Say Young.
Hi.
How's it going? Two of our fine note trackers here in Ubisoft Studio, San Francisco. How you doing?
Good. Excited for today.
Good.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier. So I recently moved desks, and I'm in the sort of the cave area with the note trackers right now, and I have never heard as much rehearsing, as much practice at one time as I did earlier today.
It's interesting how the songs can overlap each other the way that they did.
It was.
this
I mean,
week.
it was a pretty neat medley that I was hearing.
I bet it sounded like it from your point of view.
Yeah. So that was fun for me. And then I stopped practicing because I'm not playing today. I was gonna possibly play the last song, Pull Harder,
Oh, you're
because I only gave Kywin only had like today
Oh,
to practice, but she came through and she
Okay.
played it and she killed it.
Yeah.
So my hands are clean. I'm free. I can just stand behind this podium for the rest of the string, and it'll be fine. So you two are playing "Dying in Your Arms." Is that correct?
that
That is correct. let's hope so.
affirmative.
Did you note track this one?
I did.
You did. Let's. I'm going to ask you about that, but first let's take another look at Matt Heafy and another of the videos that he sent to offer some tips and suggestions on how to play "Dying in Your Arms."
With Dying in Your Arms, this one's pretty straightforward, nice and simple, easier Trivium song. I recommend to anybody who's learning guitar, learning Trivium, who wants to learn Trivium songs in the first place, start here. Dying in Your Arms is a good one. Corey actually plays all the melodies. He plays the solo as well. The song, relatively simple. It's alternate picking or down picking for the main part. I believe on the record I might have done down picking, but live I do alternate picking. Verses are just chug-chug. Probably the most intricate part of the entire song will be the rhythm guitar part behind the melodious solo, which I think is always fun. It's just arpeggiated, it's down-picked, and down and up-picked, alternate picking. It's all straight alternate picking using interesting drop D chords. Hope you enjoy it.
All right. So Matt there was talking about the rhythm part,
Yes, he was.
which
Will not be
will not be
showcased
shown
today.
so
But you can still play it. It is still there.
It's just as available
Yes.
as the lead and the bass.
And I'd have to agree that you could do it with alternate picking. I mean, it's kind of a good one to kind of test your skills if you're not used to alternate picking.
Yeah.
See how well you can do it.
Yeah.
I
And just
mean, yeah. I mean, explore the possibilities on it.
sounds good. That sounds good. So you note track this. Anything in particular we should keep an eye out for on the lead or the bass path as the song is going through?
The solo is just outright fun.
Okay.
There's a very particular scale sequence that ends it. That's actually a really good one if you wanted to isolate a way to play scales. It's like a 4-note pattern.
Yeah.
I can show it afterwards once we kind of run it and you get an idea of it. But look for it at the tail end of the solo. He actually does it twice to kind of finish each of the passages.
Okay.
But it's a really good scale pattern to learn, and they just throw it right into the end of the solo, and it adds a lot of energy. It's really good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at "Dying in Your Arms," one of 3 songs on the Trivium Song Pack 2.
Key change.
That's fun.
It is
That's
fun.
fun. Okay, so let's see that run. If you have
what-
audio still.
So what we're dealing with, so it is based off a full 7-note scale.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we talk about like pentatonic scales being 5 notes. So this is based off a full 7-note scale. And what they're doing with it, and this is a really, really common practice tool. It's good to do. There's a few ways you can do it. Their application of it is their sequence is this that they're using. You could call this, I don't know what it is in context of the song. It's probably like a D Dorian scale.
Okay.
So what they're doing is 4 notes. Then you start from the next highest note, next highest note, next highest note.
Okay. So they're just taking like chunks of the scale.
Chunks of the scale
moving-
and just kind of moving it in groups of
It's
4.
like a scale of a scale where you're just descending down.
That's deep, dude. That's deep.
I didn't write the song.
There's another way you can practice it, though, which is kind of fun. It's a nice alternate to it, is
Yeah.
you do 4 notes down, and then you do 4 notes up. And then 4 notes down, 4 notes up.
Okay.
And you get...
Okay.
And working those 2 different patterns will give you tons of notes. If you ever find that you're like, throwing a scale into a solo and then you're like running out of notes,
Yeah.
that'll give you 4 times as many things to play in the same span of time that you would if you were just running a scale up or down. You can definitely take patterns like that and extend your lines a lot.
Yeah.
And it adds a lot of energy to the end because it's patternized. You can grasp it. Once you internalize it, you can just throw it in there, and it works out really well.
Cool.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
No argument.
It's been noted that you have a lot of composure.
I do.
Me?
Oh, I'm
You.
sorry.
Not you. No.
Composure
Yeah.
in terms of what?
You're very collected. Cool and
Oh,
collected.
it's a lie.
It's a lot. It's inside. Everything's roiling and
It's only when she walks into
turning.
this room.
Yeah. It just
Yeah.
you keep that face.
That's good.
Well, inside. Oh
That's
no.
good.
Oh no.
It's cultivated by doing gigs.
Yeah. There you go.
I
So
actually
that's-
have like
so
pretty
that's-
bad stage fright, but I've been apparently able to clamp down on it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Externally, at
So
least.
it's just professionalism then. That's all it is. Professionalism.
Why are you looking at me?
It's great.
Doug.
I don't know. All right. Thank you both very much for swinging by. We are going to take a quick break right now. We're going to take a look at another friend of Rocksmith who has done a small ad. This is going to be Brennan Small. While that's going on, we're going to give away 5 copies of this week's DLC. That is the Trivium 2 song pack. So again, make sure you're listening to what Brian Turner, a.k.a. UB Jurassic, is telling you in the chat for your chance to win one of 5 copies of this week's pack on Steam. And we will be back with more Trivium right after that.
Learn a song.
Rocksmith is the fastest way to learn to play guitar. Plug in any electric guitar or bass into your PC or game console and choose from more than 700 songs. Learn to play in 60 days with Rocksmith. Available now.
Didn't you write this song? Yes. But I I forgot how to play it on guitar. Is that normal? I don't know. Maybe. See, I don't remember any of this. It's good though. It's a good song. It's not bad. Not bad. I'm now wondering if I wrote this.
And welcome back to this week's Rocksmith developer stream. I continue to be Doug Lilly, your community developer for Rocksmith and host of this here stream. If you're joining us for the first time, if you've never seen the stream before, we do this pretty much every week. We take a look at that week's DLC and we play through it. We talk about it with some of the people who helped make those charts that you play at home. And we give away prizes. Like right now, we may still have a few prizes going for the song pack for this week on Steam. Congratulations to the winners if those have already been selected. Otherwise, good luck if that's still going on. We've got one more prize coming up towards the end of this stream. But right now, we want to say hello to our, well, actually, we're going to go ahead and say hello to our first guests. I think we're having a little bit of cross chatter. It's okay. You can we can get some behind the scenes. This is all live, so there's going to be a little bit of back and forth. It's cool. Andrew Levin.
Hey,
Welcome.
what up?
You're a note tracker.
Yep.
For the people at home
Yep.
who might not, they probably know who you are. Most of them know who you are.
Yeah.
They also know
That's cool.
Francois Luong,
Hello.
who is not a note tracker. What do you do here?
Actually, I just had a title change.
Oh,
so
did you? Did you?
yeah.
So what do you do now?
I am now a graphic production artist. I have artist in my title.
Graphic
Yay.
production artist. Yeah, that's not what I
So,
had in my notes. So I'm
yeah.
glad I asked you. instead of just- you need to change what it says on the messenger.
It still says associate localization project manager.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at least
Okay.
as of yesterday.
Yeah.
It's probably fine.
Can we change that to whatever we want?
That's probably something to talk about later. I don't know if we can change it. I don't know if that's within our power. Welcome. So right now, normally, we would be playing the bonus track. If it's a 3-song pack, which this one is, we would normally play a song that isn't in the pack, so that we can have a total of 4 songs. But we're going to go ahead and play the last song from Trivium 2 today, mostly because of the videos, because they flowed in a certain way, and we wanted to stick with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video that Matt Heafy sent us to discuss some tips on how to play a Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation.
Gunshot to Head Trepidation. This one, when we were first writing it, we actually believed that the guitar part and the kick drums lined up, but they really didn't. Like we thought they did. We thought we were going da 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 together, but the drums were actually going. A night of young Trivium boys thinking they can write after a long night in the morning, something like that. Anywho, that song uses a little bit of everything. I really like fusing different styles of rhythm guitar playing. With Pull Harder being kind of alternate picked for most of it, Dying Your Arms being down picked for some of it. With Gunshot, that's down, and then another down. So the drrrrrun is alternate picked, but it's starting with a down. So the octave down and then down again, coming back in. It's a really broken down. It's not tremolo picking for the bridge. It's just 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a kind of like Slaughter the Soul at the Gate style picking, that kind of thing. Where I used to think it was tremolo pick, but it's actually 16th notes and not 32nd notes. Solo section, depending on whose solo you go with, I always rock a dad solo. Mine are going to be a little bit easier. Chords are going to be a little bit shreddier. And you're going to have to pick some of the parts because we both have harmonies in there. We both have parts where one guitar will hold out and another guitar solo will start up again within our own solo. So live, we kind of jump in and out of parts even. This track is going to have quite a few different picking parts. Makes you really down pick and really accentuate that chorus. Dun, 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 dun. All down picked. Make it nice and meaty. Enjoy.
Thank you again to Matt. We were talking earlier. Matt's just been really cool to us. Not only the Snowfall, which you're playing again. The videos. He's really good with fans. I think Francois was saying earlier.
Yeah, just the fact that he chose Epiphone to release his signature guitar, therefore making an affordable signature guitar for his fans, and also all that streaming he does on Twitch.
Yeah. So if you've never seen it, Matt streams pretty frequently. I don't know if he's streaming a lot right now. if he streams when they're on tour, but when he's at home, he streams pretty often. That link should be in the chat right about now. But he streams his practices, so he'll stream as he rehearses vocals and guitar, and it's really interesting to watch that. Just watch someone just kind of maintain and build on those skills pretty much daily. It's because it's a job, it's work to be that level. Andrew, did you note track this song?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, kind of going with what he was talking about with the picking pattern, it's pretty interesting. He was talking about with the double kick drum.
Yeah.
Immediately, I could definitely hear how the guitar played it, but because the double kick drum and the bass player are so tight, at first I thought, oh, the bass player is playing with the double kick drum and the guitar is playing a different rhythm. And when I first started transcribing it, that's what I thought. And then I kind of listened further, and I figured it out. So I'm actually kind of glad that he said that to kind of, what's the word I'm looking? Validate.
Validate. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I made the right decision. So,
Yeah,
so that's when
exactly.
you found out for sure.
Another thing I'd recommend, I almost always play with a heavy pick, but I would recommend playing with a light pick. This song, there's so much fast picking going on, and I was sitting at my desk, barely play it. Shu passed a light pick over to me, and I could play it. So definitely recommend
What
that.
gauge for light pick?
Well, it's a medium. It's 73 millimeters.
So it's
But
lighter than what you're accustomed to.
Yeah, I usually play stupidly heavy picks.
And I noticed the two of you, you're not. That's not a bass. That's not a bass.
Oh,
So
yeah, I've got
yeah.
extra strings.
So Francois, you're actually playing the alt lead today, and Andrew, you're playing the alt rhythm.
Yeah.
Why did we split it up that way?
So the lead path, I wanted to give people options, you know. So the lead path is just lead guitar. It has the full solo in it, and it has Matt Heafy's parts for the most part during the vocal sections. So if you just want a lead experience, play that path.
Okay.
The rhythm path, if you just want a rhythm experience, you play that path. There's a lot of overdubs in the song that they don't play live because they're doing harmony guitar parts, but being able to be in the studio gave them the flexibility to play some of those low parts. So so rhythm, just rhythm. And because I transcribed the lower guitar parts on the rhythm path, I then made the alt rhythm just Corey's parts. So live, Corey plays the lower parts, the lower harmonies, and Matt Heafy plays the higher harmonies. So when you go to the alternate arrangements, the alternate lead is just Matt Heafy's part, and the alternate rhythm is just Corey's part.
Cool.
If you are confused, don't worry. So am I.
All right. Well, we can go. Fortunately, this will be on demand later, and we can go back and watch it and see what you said and try to suss out some sort of structure.
Basically, alternate arrangements are the authentic arrangements to, alt lead is Matt Heafy, alt rhythm is Corey, and then the other two are lead experience or rhythm experience.
Okay, gotcha.
And then bass experience
is going to be bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and take a look at a gunshot to the head of trepidation, and we're back with some more music after that.
So by the way, I'm playing Corey's part, and Francois is playing Matt's part.
Okay.
It's not easy. I had to take that part to the metronome outside the game.
What were you saying?
Oh,
the song.
So you mean about the metronome?
Yes.
So one sec. Once the okay, there we go. So cool. Just give it a second. 'Cause we gotta wait for the game to load the. There we go. Oh. Give it 1 second.
Sure. We'll get there. It'll.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So for that one part, the what is it? They do this harmony part. Both the guitars are playing. Something like that. It's crazy. So one of the guitars does That's the guitar part I was doing. I forget. I think it's like it's higher. It's up there.
Well, not by just over here.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have the skill level to play that.
Yeah. But I really recommend anytime you do something like this. I think a lot of guitar players will tell you that the metronome is like your best friend if you want to build speed. I think that a common misperception is that it's hard to play fast, and it takes patience to play fast. But it's not actually that difficult. If you take something on the metronome, you slow it down to the point where you don't have any difficulty playing it. You gradually speed it up. It's just like weightlifting.
Yep.
You know what I mean? With this part, I was actually struggling to play it earlier today. And so I took it on the metronome. I think it's probably around 220 beats per minute, double triplets. That's really fast. So I brought it down to about 100 beats per minute, which is less than half the speed. Metronome going.
And just gradually.
Yeah. I really don't recommend doing that without a metronome, because then you don't have any reference for how fast you're going, and you're going to push it faster than you can do it. It's like lifting weights without having any
spotter.
But without having any gauge for how heavy the weights are. So it's like if you're pushing like 85 pounds, someone just hands you a weight, and then you're pushing 180 pounds. It's not going to work. You got to go up gradually. So anyways, today I spent some time just sitting there gradually speeding it up till I could play it.
That actually leads really well into a question that Tufty McTavish had in the chat, which is how much practice does it take the note trackers to learn parts so that they can look away from the screen? So, because I know during the solo sections here and during Shu's solos, there were times where he would look at his hands, look at the fretboard, rather than the screen.
Yeah.
And so that implies that he knows the part from having played it a lot. So how long, for a piece like this, would it take for you to have a solo pretty like more or less under your fingers?
Well, obviously, so generally speaking, we finish the note tracks a couple months before we end up releasing it and playing it on the stream. So I hadn't played it in a long time. And actually, a lot of times we don't even necessarily play it during the process a whole ton, because we're focused on making it look good in the game, not necessarily being able to play everything. But that being said, spending a lot of time transcribing a song is going to get you familiar with how it sounds. If you are really into improvising, which a lot of us are, then listening to something a lot's going to just inevitably help you play it. To answer the question, for this particular song, I probably spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes today, and then another 20 or 30 yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In comparison, I spent probably since I got the code for this pack on Monday, I maybe spent 6 hours working on this song. Managed to hit 75%. So as a beginner, it felt learning this song was very fulfilling. Because it was challenging in a good way. So don't get discouraged if you're a beginner, and it's also a good way to gauge your skill level, and then figure out that you can do things like the one of his lines just spoiled off. Yes, that one.
Just getting those licks.
Some really awesome melodic playing there. And then another thing too is a lot of the lines in this song are pretty scalar. So even if you're an advanced player, you've been playing a long time, it doesn't take you as long to learn something like this. That's only because you spent a ton of hours practicing scales and learning, the fundamentals to make it so.
So you kind of know the solo if you know the scales.
Yeah.
You know the structure. You know where it could be, at least.
That's you know the general framework. It's a lot like learning a language. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's so many parallels, So if I'm learning how to speak French, for example, right? I am going to be very slow to pick up any sentences because I don't speak it very well. Whereas if you spend your whole life speaking a language, then it flows naturally. And it's the exact same with music. You spend a lot of time doing it. You learn a ton of songs. You learn the language. You learn the
So if you hear a word that you don't know in your language, you can probably pick it up from context.
Yeah.
Like because you've got the rest of the framework to support that thing that you're not sure about, and so it doesn't take you quite as long to pick up on the unknown when you have the rest of it surrounding and sort of lifting up the rest of your knowledge.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you both very much. Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about?
No, just that it felt really gratifying to see at the beginning of the solo the scale run, even though it's in drop deep. So instead of starting here, it was starting over here, and then it was shifting to here. So it was like, oh yeah, I recognize the scale run.
Yeah, and all the songs, all the paths are in drop D for this pack. I think how many paths are there in this pack? 9, 12, 15, something like that.
This has
I think most of the songs have at least one alt lead.
13.
So 5 paths for this one.
This is what happens when we try to do math live. Never mind. there's some alt paths. That's all I'm saying.
There's at least 12.
Yeah. Cool. We're going to take a look at some things in case you missed it. Thank you again for joining us here. Viewers at home, in case you missed it, as you may have picked up from the name of this pack, the Trivium Song Pack 2, there was indeed a Trivium Song Pack that came out, I believe it was last year. Yeah, it came out in 2018, back in February of 2018. That song pack included Built to Fall, In Waves, and Strife. All of those songs are in E-flat, drop D-flat. I don't know if Trivium, sort of as a rule, picks a tuning for each album and just sort of sticks to it. That might be the case, but that's at least the case with the songs that we have for these two song packs. Though I think that first song pack did have more than one album represented. But that is available on your chosen platform. Also, if you like Trivium, you may like Killswitch Engage. And we did have a Killswitch Engage song pack that came out way back in 2014. That song pack included Holy Diver, My Curse, and The End of Heartache. And all of those songs are in D drop C if you want to check out something a bit lower tuned for those. And those are all available. The Holy Diver, of course, a Dio cover. Again, a bit lower. We have both versions of Holy Diver, both the Dio version and the Killswitch Engage version available in Rocksmith. Again, we want to thank Matt for helping us out with these videos, giving some extra tips to our viewers. Somebody pointed out earlier, we did mention the name of his stream channel in chat, but in case you're listening and you're not really able to read or watch chat right now, he is twitch.com/Matthew K. Heafy. That is Heafy. So if you want to watch his streams or follow him, give him a follow at Matthew K. Heafy on Twitch, because he's a interesting guy to watch, and he's really friendly, really personable, and we like him here at Rocksmith. Right now, I mentioned earlier, the last song that we played, a Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation, is part of the Trivium 2 song pack. So for the bonus song that we're about to play, I would like to introduce our final guests of the day. Hello.
Hello.
Raikin, how you doing?
Great.
Good. Raikin Note Tracker and Chris Wu.
Hello.
How you doing over there?
Doing great.
Good. So you do have a bass.
Yes.
So we're back to bass and lead. Are you doing lead?
Lead.
Lead. Okay. And what song are the two of you playing for us?
In
today?
Waves.
In Waves.
Which is drop D flat.
Drop D flat. Yep. Yep. And do we know who note tracked this one?
I do not know. It wasn't me.
I could have checked.
It's lost the
before
time.
this. Was it Shane?
It was Shane.
We think it was Shane? Shane again?
He sounded
cool.
pretty confident.
They're pretty confident. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, that was, I wasn't in San Francisco when that happened. Might have been Shu.
Well, it was. I think Shu did mention that to me. Now.
Confidence was misplaced.
Well, that's what we get for believing in ourselves. How you guys doing today?
Ready to do this, man.
Ready to do this? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I brought in my own personal axe,
wow.
by the way, since it is drop
Wow.
C, D sharp, C flat.
Cool.
C flat.
Wait, that's not. Wait, is this a
drop
test?
D flat.
Are you
this
testing
has
it?
11s on it, which has been mentioned on the
Oh,
stream
okay.
before. It's better
Yeah.
to use heavier strings
When you're doing
detuned stuff.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's go ahead and get into the song. What?
No, Matt Heafy's advice.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
hear
Well,
what he
let's-
has to say
okay,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah. We do have
Yeah.
one final video from Matt to talk about In Waves. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll play In Waves.
With In Waves, I love this song because it's one of the heaviest riffs we've ever done simply by using one string and essentially two notes because the 12th fret is just an octave of the low. Just keep it clean, keep it tight. It's one string. Verses are one string up until the second half of it. And in the bridge, I've always loved how it goes into that major feel just briefly for that first chord. Corey's solo, I can't describe that one. My solo is relatively melodic, slightly easier than some of the shreddier stuff that I've done. But that's what's good because it really accentuates having a melodic solo. Anywho, I hope you enjoy all these songs. This is Matt from Trivium. Thank you so much, Rocksmith, for having us in the game once again. 4 tunes. I love it. Take care.
And thank you again to Matt for sending those videos to share with our viewers at home. Good guy. Good guy.
Great
All right.
guy,
Great.
even.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'll go there.
Great guy. Okay. We're going to be that bold right now?
breathtaking.
He's a great. All right. Let's take a look at In Waves, and then we'll do a little bit more chatting about that. And we've got one more prize to give away after that. And if you have any last-minute questions, get those into UB Jurassic. Just
that
wanna let
song's fun to
sit
play.
there. Yeah.
That is so satisfying. That low riff.
So I want to give some credit to Brennan West, our tone chaperone, for that tone, but that guitar sounded amazing.
Oh.
On that sounded great, and
Thanks.
I know at least Beatmaster 80 wanted some more details on what you're playing, and probably what this thing has seen.
This
it looks like it's seen some things.
Well, this is a Keith Holland custom-made guitar. That's his shop is called Guitar Hospital in Los Gatos. Keith Holland's guitars. He makes amazing stuff. Great strats, great Telly style, and his shop's really good. And I've had this guitar. Now it was relicked. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't put all this. I have gone through one set of frets though. I have put a lot of mileage on this.
Okay.
But yeah, something about this guitar. Everybody likes it tuned down, like a half step. All the gigs I do where I got to tune down, they're like, "That's a guitar. Don't come with any other one." So I knew it'd be perfect for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy with this. Is like one of my, and it wasn't my most expensive guitar either. It was like maybe $1,200, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
And sounds better than most of my guitars that are like $2,000 and $3,000. So check that guy's shop out. Yeah.
Is that the?
This is his. This is Jimi Hendrix's signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is 1065. This is his signature on the back. So.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Anything else we wanted to say about Trivium in Waves? From the Trivium song pack.
It's a super
Came out
catchy
last year.
song. In my opinion.
It's a
like
fun. It is a
this,
fun song.
And this is the one that has been stuck in my head along with "Dying in Your Arms." Like I think they're possibly they have the most melodic parts in them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I have a. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I have a performance note about the riff.
Sure, please.
Just
please.
this. Since like you're going from the chugs. To really get that clean, break, because if you just do this with the palm mute, you're still going to get it. So it's like an insurance policy you got to do like with this hand. So this hand comes in and helps to, like. So if you were seeing me playing, it looked like I was kind of slapping with the left hand.
Right.
I mean, there's delay on the tone right now too, but yeah, that's
just
needed
to
to like really get that cut. Yeah.
Cool. That's a good tip.
And you got to pay attention to your pick direction too on those too.
Right.
That's key. Cool. All those metal guys are like, "You're cheating, man. You're doing alternate picking when it's only supposed to be downs."
No, alternate pick when it calls for it. It's a tool. Never refuse to use a tool because somebody, I don't know. I'm sure I've got some wisdom.
Well, like Hetfield is like the king of the downstroke, so that's like the benchmark for like a lot of metal rhythm players. Right. But I mean, I couldn't get through a gig without switching to alternate.
I mean, if you
do it every night,
get that consistent tone.
Yeah,
that's I think why, because you want that like the same.
Yeah,
or
the
similar
consistency of attack for sure.
I was gonna say, like Matt Heafy mentioned in one of the earlier little clips that even he said that he thinks I forget which song, but they recorded it down picking. But then he says even when he plays live, he does alternate picking.
Right.
For again, kind of that reason of
because it's exhausting.
To last.
yeah,
it's
exhausting. If you're playing a 2-hour set, you're gonna have to make it through it, and just 2 hours of downstrumming is
it's brutal.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give away our last prize. Thanks again to Rye and Chris for swinging by and playing in Waves. Please listen to what UB Jurassic is telling you in the chat for your chance to win the second of 2 Ernie Ball prize packs that we are giving away on today's stream. If you win, you will receive 1 pack of 6-string regular Slinkies. You will receive a 4-string pack of regular Slinkies for your bass. You're going to get a dozen Ernie Ball picks. You're going to get 3 picks from us, the Spectrum Plectrum. You're going to get an Ernie Ball strap, currently in black. You're going to get a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes and a peg winder from Ernie Ball. All of that can be yours if you do what UB Jurassic tells you in the chat, which is probably enter !raffle and follow the channel. Just swap that order. Make sure you're following the channel before you enter the raffle, and that is how you can have a chance to win. If you do win, look for a whisper from UB Jurassic. He will get your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number, and we will need all that information to get you your prize. Coming up tomorrow, if you want some idea, some hint of what's coming next week, make sure you check out the forums. Just go to rocksmith.com and look for the link to the forums at the top of the screen. That we get to the forums, we will have a clue that has been sent to us by our clue creator, RS222, and will be posted either by Ubisoft or UB Jurassic. Brian, who's here in the chat with us right now, he can probably tell you which of the two of them will be posting it tomorrow morning and roughly when. So make sure you look for that if you want to know what is coming next week. If you're here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We do this pretty much every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, and we love having you here. We love talking to you, play music for you, answering your questions about the game as much as possible. And if you want to check us out on social media, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/Rocksmith. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Rocksmith Game, just as we are on this channel on Twitch. So check those out. We've got a YouTube channel. Every week we post our DLC on Tuesday, that week's new DLC, and we host this stream on that YouTube page as well. So we've got content there if you want to take a look. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next week with some new music. And thanks again for joining us. And thank you one last time to Matt Heafy for helping us out with these videos to try to get more information to you, the fans. We'll take one more look at the Trivium 2 song pack and see you next week.